I research people's brains, I research behaviour, and it's mostly to do with shopping and buying stuff. And then I use it to help people work out how to do things better.
Does it make a difference what shelf something is on in the shops?
A very big difference. There's a couple of ones. You'll notice when you go into a supermarket, they have these things called end cap displays. So at the end of each aisle, there's these little displays that sit there in front of you. It anchors our thinking. It will draw us into that aisle to go and buy things.
Is that similar to when you walk to pay for something that they have all the chocolates laid out?
Yeah. Sometimes from a marketing perspective, you think that's probably not a clever thing to do because giving people too much choice is actually not a great idea. It's because the more things that we're given, the more choices that we're given, the more pain we feel that we're missing out. So if you have 30 jams and you go, well, I've got to choose one, you're actually going to go, I miss out on 29. But if you have, say, 6 jams and you say, I've got to choose one, you're only missing out on 5.
Pester power. What is that?
Pester power is something that is actually part of the strategy of food companies where they market, they advertise and promote to kids to actually pester their parents to buy certain types of products. I actually think that there's a really positive way of thinking about that is positive pester power, which is where the kids actually divert their parents to the healthy food rather than necessarily responding to all the marketing that goes on.
So when I go to the shops with my mum, she said she's gonna buy 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
And then she comes back with 1 million.
Yeah.
Why is
that? We all do it. We'll just get 1 or 2 things and then we get all excited and we go, I can't help myself. But the one thing you can do is to actually just make a note. And you fired up your neocortex, your frontal brain, to go, these are the things that I must get. You actually are less likely to buy all of the other junk that you get into the car with. The best thing you can do is start at the fruit and vegetable area and start making your choices there, filling up your trolley early on in the thing, because then you're less likely to kind of buy from the processed food area. Good habits right at the beginning of your life make it easier for you to have good habits later on in your life. And it's practice. That's all it is. It's saying, I know that if I choose, say, a chocolate as opposed to a banana, that the chocolate is probably not good for me. But even the process of you saying, I've thought about that, means that you're practicing those choices, which is a great thing. And that means that your brain is better at thinking about it in the future.
Are there certain food groups that kids are drawn to naturally?
So some children love fruit, while others prefer different things. They might prefer vegetables, they don't like such sweetness, and others prefer to have meats and things, so it's really individual.
Because I like to think of the taste buds like a muscle, so you can stretch it and exercise it and build up your taste for things.
Absolutely, and definitely some things you might have put to the side because something perhaps visually about them you thought, oh, I don't like the look of that, but you might not realise that it actually tastes absolutely delicious and you could be missing out.
When we try something new, do you have any tips for learning to like it? Is it about keeping it small?
You know, we focus a lot on putting it straight into our mouths, but I think actually exploring it a little bit with our hands and just around our face can also be a really good way to get a good smell of it and to just sort of suss out what it's actually going to feel like when you do put it in your mouth.
Do you have any general tips to experience new things?
I think the biggest ones come back to mum and dad. So, you know, if mum and dad are eating lots of different things, say to them, mum and dad, can you eat these things with me? If they model it to you and they show you that it's safe, then that definitely helps you to feel more comfortable and to know that that's a safe food for you to eat.
Does your family or what your family likes affect what you like to eat?
Definitely. So there's a lot of research that shows that even when you're growing in your mum's tummy, that the fluid that's around you is actually full of lots of different, all the flavours of what your mum's actually eating. And then if she goes on to breastfeed you, again, all the different foods that she eats, some of those flavours come through the breast milk.
Jonathan?
I don't like a lot of foods that my mum eats.
Yeah, so what sort of flavours are they?
She eats food from a culture where she was born in Singapore.
And so what is it about those foods, Jonathan, for you that you don't like? Is it the smell of them, what they look like? What is it about them that you don't like?
Mostly the taste and the texture. It feels really soft and it just doesn't feel right to me.
Whereas it's interesting because your twin brother loves those sorts of foods. So it's funny, isn't it? You've both grown up in the exact same time within your family, exposed to the same things, but yet you've got different preferences, and that's really normal. You know, have a look at what perhaps some of your friends are having at school and take that opportunity to have a smell of it again and to actually explore some of those foods because you might actually learn a lot about it in that way.
What do you think?
Okay, so what did the soup say to the DJ?
What did the soup say to the DJ?
Can you please turn up the beat?
I hate that.
That's some of my best material. You know, turnips, beetroot, in soup.
I get the joke. It's just, I hate when people yell stuff like that. It's like, it's at that volume for a reason. If I wanted to turn it up, I would. Maybe I'm building up to something. Stop micromanaging my set.
Since when do you DJ?
Hey, Maddie, can you turn up the beat?
I dabble.